Hello, everybody. I hope all is well. I am Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yul Brenner. It is a Demetra K show where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Like I said, big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Also, thank you to my moderators. Hey, Mike, how you doing? And all that you do and holding down the comment section and making sure that it runs smoothly. Again, thank you, Donovan, for sitting here. Today, we're going to be talking about Democrats slammed by brother Jamal Green. I'll tell you all about him in case you guys don't already know who he is. He's from Chicago, and now he's slamming them for the ICE raids in Black neighborhoods. But he again, saying we need to put the blame where the blame is due. So I'm going to show y'all a video of him that's been kind of trending everywhere. Let's see, who do we have on here before I give it to Donovan? We have Clifford, how you doing? Diane, how are you? Albie Chill, Vovo, what's up? Sister Sunlight, Troy, Mrs. Tiffany, and one who cares. Donovan, how are you?
I am doing fairly well. I'm holding up as much as I can. You guys, thank you for the well wishes for my cat, Misty. She's looks like her body's shutting down, and I've been dealing with her, taking her to the vet and basically monitoring her. So that's where a lot of my attention is going. So if I seem kind of drab, you guys, it's because I'm trying to balance the two. Good news is the Dallas Cowboys won today, and they won in overwhelming fashion, but they played the Jets. Even better news today, the Philadelphia Eagles lost in the last minute. I agree. That last pass was pass interference, in my opinion, but the NFC East, the most competitive division in football, anybody could beat each other at any time. Right now, the Washington Commanders are playing the Chargers. Last I checked, the Chargers were up 10-7 or something like that. But welcome to the show, you guys. Glad to have you guys here. Do us a favor, hit that like button on the way in. It's absolutely free. It does take effort and time to make these great conversations and videos. And if you guys feel like you guys want to donate and keep that channel going and keep the content creator motivated, there's ways you can do that. We have a scrolling banner at the bottom, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Cash, money order, however you guys want to do it. Also, do not forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get it on Google Play, Apple Store. Original content that you're not going to see in your regular YouTube algorithms. The videos there are videos that were not uploaded to YouTube. They're specific to the app. So if you guys are interested in that, please do that. I've been keeping abreast of what's going on to Demetra's intellectual crush, Julius Malema. As you guys know, he is being prosecuted for a various amount of things by the older generation. Isn't that crazy, Demetra? The older generation is doing everything they can to keep the younger generation in check. But how would I know that? The African Diaspora News Channel app. So this is going to be interesting. I haven't really been keeping up with what's going on in Chicago, but I will give my unfiltered and unsolicited opinion.
Absolutely. How you doing, Eunice? Hope that all is well, and hello to everybody. So let's go ahead and get started for the sake of time. And yes, much prayers to Miss Misty, old cat. Donovan's had Misty for a very, very long time. So yeah, she's been in the game for a minute. Anyway, so let's get into it. So of course, you guys know when Trump took office, and even before he took office, he said that he was going to do a mass deportation, which it sounds like, they're on track to do now. It sounds like they want to deport by the end of the year 2 million people. How close they are to that number, I do not know. As ICE and Tom Homan and Kristi Noem, right? They're all romping and stomping through different cities. A lot of them are what you would call a blue city or Democrat city. Sounds like they touched down in Memphis last week or something like that. But nevertheless, they are in Chicago. And in fact, Tom Homan told Chicago Flips Red and a whole host of other people, yeah, I'm going to come to Chicago first. Now, of course, that did not take place. Now, it should also be said that the mass deportation efforts are necessary because the Democrats did a mass immigration, right? So it's like when Biden was in office, they opened the doors and just allowed a whole bunch of immigrants from everywhere to come in. Now, of course, y'all remember when he was the president-elect, he was with the Black leadership, right? And he went off on them because it sounds like they were kind of asking him stuff. And he pretty much said, hey, the Hispanics are going to outnumber y'all pretty soon. If not, they already do, right? And y'all need to learn how to get along with him. And he was pretty feisty about it. And so from that point, we saw the mass immigration. Now, of course, with that, a lot of the immigrants were placed into Black neighborhoods. Now, let's go back to Chicago, where a lot of the immigrants were placed there. And then they also, during kind of the same time, got a new mayor by the name of Brandon Johnson. And he was very complicit along with a lot of the older people there and moving the immigrants. Sounds like it was a lot of Venezuelans rather there. Moved them in there and they got a whole host of things. Okay, now ICE is really in there because they were kind of staved off a little bit by the governor, J.B. Pritzker, and Mayor Brandon Johnson. They were like, Trump, y'all ain't coming in here, this, that, and the other. Well, now they're in there. And I talked about this last week where ICE went into South Shore apartment building in Southside Chicago and handcuffed and gaffled up a lot of Black people who were citizens. Even children were in zip ties. They even brought a baby out naked and would not allow his mother to put clothes on him. A lot of the Black residents said that they were in the back of those vans for hours and hours while I guess they were trying to sort out who was who, right? Sounds like they had a warrant or whatever. It happened in the middle of the night. They did all these flash bangs and broke windows. It was a lot. So a lot of people say it was traumatizing to the Black community. However, Brother Jamal Green, who is an activist and has done a lot in Chicago. He also ran for mayor twice, I think 2019, 2023, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. I don't know. And he has something to say specifically to the Democrats. Now, he doesn't mention the Democrats by name, but he says the politicians who, made this happen. Of course, that was the Democrats there in Chicago. So here we go.
Pissed off because a lot of people out there are acting like they don't understand what is actually happening in the city of Chicago in regards to the ICE raids. Let me tell you something. Black people, again, are collateral damage in this. And all the Black people that are getting mad at ICE and Donald Trump, hold on, you got to get mad at the politicians right here locally. Because it was the politicians right here in your city that decided to dump the migrant issue on the Black community like they do every single time. When they came across the border and checked asylum, they were able to come over into our city and get incentives like medical care, 6 months free rent, free transportation, free child care. We fed them each and every day. And those people that they were giving assistance to, they didn't go up to the north side and to the white community. All of the people out there protesting that are white, they didn't open up their doors for them, and they didn't want none of the shelters on their neighborhood. Guess where they opened up the shelters? In the Black community. Those same school buildings that they shut down in 2013 that were educating Black kids, they took those school buildings and they made them migrant shelters. And then they gave over $700 million to a company out in Florida to manage those shelters. They took the buildings that you've been asking for to be developed and build new housing, and they made them into migrant homes, giving them 6 months of free rent. They dumped the problem on Black community like they do every single time. When it was George Floyd riots, they closed downtown and pushed people to loot into the neighborhoods because they knew that people didn't care. Where was all the people right now? They weren't in our neighborhoods helping us open up back up our businesses. They were not in our neighborhoods helping us clean up. They weren't in our neighborhoods when we were fighting for Laquan McDonald, who was shot 16 times by Jason Van Dyke. I didn't see them at the protest. But now, right now, they want to make Black people a part of the fight. When they made us collateral damage in the first place, we are always losing. That's why ICE is raiding buildings where Black people are, is because they put them there. They pay for their rent. They pay for their food. They pay for their child care. They pay for everything, but they didn't put them where they live. They put them where Black people live because they don't want to invest into the community. So that's the easiest place to dump a problem. So, yes, we can say ICE is being aggressive. Yes, we know that our armed forces are always aggressive more to us. But what we can say is that our politicians did it to us. They should have never allowed them to come over here in droves like they did. And then when they did come over here, they should have never put them and dumped them in Black communities, acting like we didn't want economic development, like we didn't deserve better schools and deserve community centers and deserve grocery stores. We deserve better. And our politicians need to act like it. Stop putting everything before us.
Absolutely. So that was Brother Jamal Green. And yes, he was talking fast because I sped him up a little bit because it was a little long. So he was sped up a little bit. Somebody says he's talking faster than a rapper. So yes, he basically said the admonishment needs to go to the politicians who put them there. Of course, that was the Democrats who did that, Mayor Brandon Johnson, the older people. And in fact, I even kind of was looking to see if any of these Democrats are upset or protesting about what happened to the Black people. And I can't say that I've seen much. I've seen some people posting, but a lot of politicians know. In fact, I saw the opposite. I don't know this older woman's name. I think maybe she's LGBTQ or something because she looks like a man. And I'm not being mean, but she presents like a man. She ended up getting arrested because I guess she was trying to get into one of the ICE facilities in Chicago, and they arrested her or whatever the case is. But I'm like, You protested for these immigrants who are not supposed to be there, but nothing about the Black residents that have to endure the ICE raids and all of that. But Brother J. Maul is right in that the Democrats put them there. And again, that's the benign neglect, right? Neglecting Black people and bringing the immigrants in. And as he said, everything he said is 100% true. I've covered it a copious amount of times here and on the African Diaspora News Channel about the things that those immigrants were able to get. Like he said, a free rent, a school that they were supposed to use and open up as a youth center or something like that. They didn't do that. They actually made it into a shelter. And there was a lot of foolishness going on. And so, like he said, Black people are just collateral damage. Nobody wants to see Black residents gaffled up like that and handcuffed and all the other foolishness, but collateral damage. But people are mad, as he said, at Trump and ICE and all of that, which ICE is doing their job, essentially. Now, we don't like how they're doing the job. I don't, but they are doing their job. But yet they put the immigrants there in the Black community, and our Black people are having to suffer. But as he said, and a lot of other people said, this is another way to get Black people involved in something that really has nothing to do with us. So, Donovan, what say you? And then I'm going to get into the comment section. Hopefully I can go back to the top.
Everything that young brother said, I agree with 100%. And the new Black media has been talking about this. Black folks, we are collateral damage in what is going on. They are trying everything they can to get us involved and get us emotional, because we're emotional people with this issue. Stay your Black asses out of it. Go to the movies, do what you need to do, but do not get involved in this. Yes. Are some people going to be rounded up and detained unfairly, right? At the time, in the 1980s, how many Black people in New York in the 1990s during stop and frisk? People, unfortunately, are going to be brought into things and detained. Once they figure it out, you will be released. So this happens. I mean, we act like this stuff just doesn't happen to us. You've seen the movies. Some of us, we have relatives that deal with this. So we got to stop letting these people manipulate us into fighting their battles. See, because when the Black people get involved, then it's a kickoff. And that's been known throughout history. The Watts riots, such and such riot. When we've had enough, this stuff happens. The LA riots recently in the 1990s. But this Black people is not our fight. So I agree with them wholeheartedly. Demetra, what is it that I say and you say all the time? And I say this on my podcast all the time. What is going on in the United States is your fault. Yes, you. If you're looking at me and I'm pointing this finger at you, it's your fault. And why do I say that? Because the rise of a Donald Trump should never have happened. Should never have happened if you were paying attention. What happens in your past, he that does not know their past are doomed to repeat it. Donald Trump should have never, much less even be reelected after the first time. But it happened because we're not paying attention. We're not going to the school board meetings. We're not going to city council meetings. We're not showing up at the congressional town halls when that congressman comes and gives his report on what he was doing when he went to the last congressional session. We're not showing up. Black people don't show up to that. And I can say that from my experience. When I go to city council, I live in a town of 200 and something thousand people. When I go to city council, there's 4 Blacks. One of us is sitting on the dais. And it's the same Black folks that show up. So to get upset and, oh, you want to do this, whatever, where is that energy when it comes for, our self-preservation? But we want to, oh, I'm being illegally detained and this, that. You can fight that all you want. You're not going to win that battle. When they figure it out, they will release you. But the fact of the matter is, what is going on in America is your fault. Mine included. Thus, this is why I'm trying to wake everybody up and ring the alarm. We can no longer sit back and say, well, Uncle Charlie, everything's good. I'm good, whatever the deal is. Right? We can't do that. Government is shut down. Whose fault is that? It's our fault. You want to know why? Because we let these clowns do what the hell they want to do with no repercussions. What's the repercussion? You get them out of office. You get them out of office. But no, we're going to send them right back to do the same BS games. So I agree with them wholeheartedly.
Absolutely. Hello to everybody. Come on. I see a few people saying, and daughter of the sun, how you doing? You said somebody did a video, said that the baby, the video about the baby was fake. I don't know how fake it is. I saw a news report of a brother actually said it. So it was a brother who said he saw it. I don't know how true it is. The brother that was there, I guess maybe he was caught up in the raid as well. He said that he saw it and they would not allow the mother to put clothes on or whatever. My thing is, I don't know. I wasn't there. I think all things can be true. I think the ICE agents were there to probably get immigrants, but in the process, you know, some black people got roughed up. Y'all not gonna tell me that all those black people are lying, okay? I'm not gonna believe that all those black people are lying. But somebody, Lisa, I think it was, it said, and I'm paraphrasing, but I think she pretty much said that we should have voted for the Democrats, and maybe we wouldn't be here. It'd be worse. It'd be worse. If we voted for the Democrats, which would have been a Kamala Harris, it would have been worse. Kamala was very unapologetic about what they were doing to the country in regards to illegal immigrants, bringing more and more in. They were very sympathetic to that. In fact, it was their administration. Now, I know that immigrants have come over under other administrations, but I don't know if it was as bad as to the tune that the Biden administration was doing. And the Kamala was not backing up off of that at all. Now, I will concede one particular time she did go to the border and said, hey, stop. Don't come here, right? But she wasn't serious because they allowed them to keep on coming in. And to J. Maul's point, yeah, they put them in the black neighborhoods. Now somebody else asked why, did they put the immigrants there because it was more affordable? Like, no, they put them there because it was black people. Nobody, when I say nobody, no politician, nobody cares about black people. Black people are expendable, which is why you would think we would wake up and say, stop voting for people who are not for you. Now, listen, I'm not a Republican. I'm nonpartisan, right? We know the Republicans don't care about black people. The Democrats don't care either. Because like I said, you can go look right now and you'll see most Democrats are crying in Chicago and whining over the immigrants because ICE is in there romping and stomping. They crying and whining and going to jail about that, but they ain't saying nothing about the black people who are inadvertently, as Brother J. Maul said, collateral damage to any of that. So would we have been better off? No, we'd be worse off. Matter of fact, if Kamala was in, we wouldn't hear about black people talking about, oh, now I'm able to get a job here, there, and everywhere. They weren't going to be talking like that. Kamala was full-fledged on board. We're bringing them over to replace black people. Now, I know what Trump and them is doing sucks. I don't agree with everything they're doing. In fact, I don't agree with most of it. But to try to say that we should have voted for the Democrats, what were the Democrats doing for black people for us to vote for in the first place? Because if they was doing something so great for black people, they'd be in office. A lot of more black people would have showed up. But see, people don't want to have that conversation. It's, oh, if you should have voted for this and you wouldn't have had that. No, we would have traded doom and gloom if we would have voted for one or the other. So it's like pick your poison at this point. So, yeah.
And real quick, how many of you guys know illegal immigration and the replacement of bringing in a new class of slave labor is a Project 2025 item and agenda? Project 2025 is not new. If you look, these think tanks go back to the 1970s. This is nothing new. The immigration, Dimitri, let me just say this real quick. Go back to the Obama years and listen how Obama talked about immigration and Hillary talked about immigration to basically what Trump is doing right now. They sound identical. Replace Trump and Obama today and then, they sound identical. But because Trump has an R in front of his name, oh, it's terrible. It's unhuman to do what he's doing and deport these people. They just want to work. But when Obama was doing it, nobody said a word. But Trump is doing the exact same thing, and they're using the exact same talking points. A lot of what 2025 is, half of what 2025 these think tank ideas are, do you guys realize almost half of them have been implemented by Democrats? Mass incarceration. Who did that? Joe Biden. Who signed for it? Bill Clinton. The reformation of government under Bill Clinton, shedding of federal jobs and all that. Bill Clinton. I mean, you can go back. These parties are the same. And then think about this. How is it that a Democrat could easily switch parties and join the Republican Party and vice versa so easily? So easily. They're the same people. The corporations own both sides. During this government shutdown, ask yourself, who's benefiting from this government shutdown? What is the one way you could break a union in the United States? The most easiest way to do it. You have a government shutdown because the federal employees have a union. Donald Trump wants to close the government down and get rid of these employees because he has corporate friends. The unions are going to have to concede something. I've been watching TV, Demetra. I haven't seen one Democrat talk about the federal employees and how Donald Trump chopping their jobs and just telling them not to come back. There's no fight because they're all in it together. They just want you to get upset at an R because they're a D.
Well, yeah, I mean, some of that might be true, and then some of it is, I trained to be, I was trying to be a correctional officer for a very short time, and some of the things that they told you is that if inmates take you hostage, they will not negotiate for you, right? Because it's just the way it is. You might be held up in there 2 weeks being tossed around or whatever the case is. So the point is, we're not going to negotiate and acquiesce to, somebody who's holding, let's say, the country hostage. Now I know they're saying it's the Democrats or whatever, like you said, it's all of them. But at some point in time, you have to push back, right? Black America, how you doing? He says, do you have proof that the Democrats paid for them to live? Can you send the link? Boy, I'm not going to be acquiescing to foolishness today. You know damn well you can sit up and listen to Mayor Brandon Johnson whine and cry about how much money they spent. Mayor Eric Adams has cried about how much money he spent. In fact, that's why a lot of people say he's in trouble with the Democrats and why they leveled those charges against him about taking bribes from Turkey. It's because he was like, hey, Biden, I need you to run me my money, right? And the rest was history. And then Trump, had to pardon him or whatever the case is. But listen, I'm not going to go there with you. There's somebody else asked the question. Pookie, how you doing? It says, when ICE was, it says, I'm trying to read your comment. It says, when ICE was, I think they have 5 warrants, but seized 2 whole apartment buildings. How is it the Dems and not Trump and his racist regime? Because the theory is, if the Democrats had not put the immigrants in Black communities, because as Brother J. Maul said, those are the white people that lives in the north side of Chicago. They're protesting, the immigrants. They didn't put them in their neighborhoods. They put them in the Black neighborhoods, right? They being the Democrats. So that's how the Democrats have to blame, because what else would they be looking for? Are they doing ICE raids in the north side of Chicago? I don't know. Y'all tell me. I don't live there. So I kind of think that's where it's going. Let me see. I got to skip down a little bit. Queen Adaya, he says they will do what they want to. Yashua, he says it will take Yashua and him, somebody else, excuse my French, says to stop this foolishness. Oh, yes, absolutely. And I believe you mean God. Yeah, it's absolutely. Tiffany, how you doing? Says, to me, this is more political and spiritual. They've been harvesting Black American energy, getting into better positions at the top while we continue to decline. The shift is here. Come on now. Let me skip down. And I've seen everybody so far. Go, how you doing? You say he's right, Angela. He says, I disagree with ICE storming apartment buildings and homes and rounding up our innocent children, putting zip ties on them. If it were happening to Caucasian and Asian children, this country would protest. Come on now. But see, the problem is, Sister Angela, we don't protest. We don't protest. All the money we got in our community, and we sit up and watch all that foolishness go on, and we don't protest. I'm tired of talking about protesting, to be quite honest, which is either we will or we won't, So yeah, I hear what you're saying, but we got to protest. Hold on, but
what does protest really do, Demetra? I mean, in the 60s, the 60s. Wait. Let me just say this. In the 60s, that was a very effective campaign. People are protesting right now. Nobody gives a damn.
We ain't talking about that type of protest. We talking about money. We talking about
economics is different. Okay, gotcha.
Ain't nobody talking about boots on the ground. We talking about protesting. I'm not going to have my Black self out there marching and protesting and getting rubber bullets, at me. I'd rather protest with my money, but we don't want to have that conversation. We want to continue to beg the same oppressor that has us in the situation. And then some of that is on us too. Let's not concede that. But we want to continue to beg them to treat us right. The oppressor is never going to treat us right. But if we withhold our money from this racist system, then they'll start to say, what was you talking about? right? Sugar Unique, how you doing? Says this has nothing to do with being black or civil rights. It's about illegal invaders that the Democrats are wrongfully fighting for. Come on now. Anita, how you doing? Hope you're well. Jesse, what's going on with you? Nadine, how you doing? Says the reason Donald Trump in office is because treasonous, lying, and Democrat parties put the illegal immigrants above their main base, Black Americans, period. And they're still doing it to some degree, right? They don't even really talk about Black Americans. Like I said, with those Black people getting hemmed up in that ICE raid, you would think that have we seen Jasmine Crockett, what's her name, Maxine Waters, and all the rest of them? No, we ain't seen them say nothing. I haven't, to this moment, I haven't. So yeah, they're still not thinking about Black people. Carrie, how you doing? Locked Vegan, what's going on with you? Says Donovan's right all the way. Okay, Zamba, how you doing? Says it was fake. I posted the full video on my Instagram. Okay, I don't know how fake it is. I don't know why people would lie, but what about it was fake? If you don't mind me asking, so the raid was fake. Have we seen any ICE people say that it was fake? Like, tell me why you guys are saying it's fake. Let's see. So how you doing? It says, don't blame me. I voted for kudos. You crazy. Let's see. Albert Chill says definitely would have been worse under Kakala. You crazy. And that goofy VP. Hey, Brother Will, thank you so much for that love and appreciate you. How you doing today, by the way? Let's see. Who else haven't I seen? Okay. Gloria, how you doing? Says no tangibles, no vote. Yep. And Brother Reggie says illegal immigrants, and they need to stop with all that undocumented nonsense. They are illegal. Yeah, there's certain things you can't say. You can't say homeless no more. You got to say unhoused. It's like, come on, give us a break. And I should say, that's the Democrats that are doing that. Oh, they're unhoused. It's like they homeless. Unhoused and homeless mean the same thing because you dress it up and make it a little pretty. Don't mean that they ain't sleeping on no sidewalks, right? Kevin, how you doing? Hope that you are well. Just skipping down. Willie says, back to my free will. All you have to do is take an insert out and bicycle becomes free will. Okay. Bubblegum cat, how you doing? Says Trump loves ICE raids. Yeah, and a lot of them are cruel. I will say that. The way they doing some of them is like, come on, man. You ain't got to be doing it like that. Norma, how you doing? Says peace. Never forget how Letitia James, Democrat from New York, had lawyer and other helplines for Asians to protect them. Come on now. Tanaya, where you been? He said, hey, Demetri Donovan, it's been a while. Hope all is well. The Black guy is disingenuous. Them Dems are not empowered. This is a Trump decision. Where are all the gangs since they like to kill each other? I'm not sure what that even means, but he's right. He's 100% right. Why are they there in the Black neighborhoods looking for illegal immigrants? We know that the Democrats did do that. Or like, why are we arguing about facts? And tonight I love you. But why are we arguing about facts? The Democrats did that.
Well, I mean, let's just use our common sense, Demetra. If you take a bunch of immigrants, you put them in the white neighborhood, that ain't gonna happen. What did Greg Abbott do when he sent those immigrants up to Martha's Vineyards in the Democratic enclaves up there? Those immigrants were gone in a week. They were gone in a week. You can't send immigrants to the white neighborhoods, Democrat or Republican, because white supremacy is white supremacy. You can't send them to the Asian community because that ain't gonna fly. The only welcoming community and dumb community that will be open-armed and let other groups come into their community is the Black community.
Yeah, and and it should say we said too. A lot of the Black folks in Chicago, they didn't want that. They spoke out against that. Brother Sammy, how you doing? Said Demetri and Donovan, I'm from Chicago. The brother spoke facts. The mainstream media is going to push Democrat talking points and send them back. You're absolutely right. And he lives there. Like, people from Chicago are telling us, hey, we're not really, maybe we don't like how they doing some of the ICE raids, but they need to happen because Black people are most affected by that. But everybody want to sit up and, it's not right. But it's like, they don't live in your neighborhood, right? They like he said, the white folks out there protesting, they not in their neighborhoods. They won't just leave them alone and all that. But if they was in the white people neighborhood, they'd be singing a different tune. Free Will says the shutdown happens every year. Why are we surprised? Now it doesn't actually happen every year, but it's happened with Trump 3 times. It happened with him 3 times, just to be putting it on out there, right? So, and he's also famously saying, if a shutdown happens under the president, that's the president's fault. But now all of a sudden, you know, it ain't Trump and the Republicans' fault. So it's like, knock it off, you know.
But and let me add to that real quick, you guys. You guys put on your logic caps. If you are a president of the United States and you are and you've earned your second term, the people were dumb enough to reelect you in your second term. All the promises you made in your second term, do you really have to fulfill any of those promises? Because you can't run again. You can't run again. Do you think Donald Trump, look at Obama, second term, didn't do nothing for black people, didn't have to because he couldn't run again. Use your logic. When they are in their second term, they don't give a damn what they promised you, what could happen, whatever. Yeah, it's the president's fault, but I'm the president now. And guess what? I don't have to run for a re-election, so it don't matter to me. Do you guys really think he gives a damn? Any president, Donald, if they're in their second term, they don't care. They're going to do what they want, and that's the end of it.
Absolutely, Brother Salam. Absolutely. And how you doing? D-Mac, how you doing? He said, what's good? Everything, no reparation, no vote. What's going on? He says, made it. What up? Who else? Let's see. NL Jordan, how you doing? He said some of the protests are co-opted by NGOs. I mean, they're probably so, but overall doesn't have anything to do with black people. We don't want to see black people get caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? And Speed, how you doing? It says Democrats and reptilians. Well, damn. All right, let me see. Let's skip to the bottom, and then I can catch up. Hey, Catherine, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. And Buckhorse, thank you so much. Love and appreciate you. He says FBA, serve the Most High God. There you go. That's what we're supposed to be doing, and we're supposed to be doing for self, right? But we worried about everything else. But Dirty Laundry says, explain why you believe it's real. I mean, will you tell me why you believe it's fake? That's y'all coming and saying that it's fake. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm asking y'all to tell me why you believe it's fake. You saw it somewhere that it was fake. Tell me why it's fake. See, the burden of proof ain't on me. You're the one that's saying that it's fake, so you tell me why it's fake. You know, I'm not saying that I'm not gonna die on a hill or something I have no knowledge of, but present me where it's fake, and you know, I'll concede that. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying show me what you got. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Albert Chill says we need attention protest too. He says, I can only imagine how them folks would act if we all together stop giving them any attention, mentions, acknowledgement. They lose their minds. Yep, but we won't do it, right? We want to react to everything that we see. Joe, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Buckhorse, thank you once again. He says the Black Yule Brenner Commanders forever. So that gets us a basketball or football rivalry. Easy says no reparative justice means no vote for Democrats for me. Got you. Tahada says that is like the WWE. The people in WWE can't say wrestlers. They have to say superstars. Oh Lord. I mean, it's like we just get so politically incorrect and correct. It don't make no doggone sense. It's still what it is, right? In New York State of Mind, how you doing? Says the Democrats not putting them in white or Hispanic neighborhoods. They are neighborhoods, but we supposed to say, oh, okay, right? Don't at me. How you doing? Says another MAGA brother. Laugh out loud. I don't know who you're speaking of. Buckhorse, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you. Love and appreciate you for that. Simo, how you doing? Says they dumped in black communities. That's exactly what they did. Leisha, how you doing? Says not open arms anymore, Donovan. Black America says, Donovan, we don't have a community. Oh, Lord. Black America, we love you. We love you. Jessica says black people need to stop crying and don't shop at their shops. Nah, we ain't gonna do that though. We gonna whine and cry. We're gonna cry and whine. Why don't the Democrats and the Republicans and the stuff that we could be doing? Byron, how you doing? I'm just skipping down to see acknowledge everybody haven't seen D-Mac. It says inciting the masses is the tactic of the day. Yep. Kevin says Eric Adams put them in Asian communities too. The Asian protested them being in their neighborhoods also. But yeah, I'm sure they didn't do as much as they did us. And like Donovan said, they sent some to the Kamala Harris's house too. And how long was they there? 2 seconds. Miss Sweets, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I think I'm making it to the bottom. I just want to clear some of these comments. Brother JJ says, I guess once Three Eye Atlas get here. We won't have to care about anything, right? Dennis, how you doing? Says the Black community asked the city government to vote on sanctuary cities, and the mayor, come on now, gave the deciding vote to not to allow the vote. White Chicago is fighting to keep illegals in Black neighborhoods. You're 100% right. Mayor Brandon Johnson did not want to bring it to a vote because Chicago, from what I understand, has been a sanctuary city since like 1986, 83 or something like that. And Black people wanted to end it, and he was like, well, I don't think we're going to vote on that. You know, Eddie, how you doing? And Cynthia Hayes, what's going on with you? Hope that you're having a beautiful evening, Donovan.
Oh, you know what? I want to read this from Nadine Henderson. She says, I blame the Democratic Party for the shutdown because the Democratic Party is trying really hard to get medical insurance for the illegal aliens. This is why the government is shut down. But see, Nadine, here's what I got to say. Have you noticed? Now, you know that. I know that. Demetra knows that. A lot of our co-hosts know that. But why is it that the Democrats won't say that? They'll do everything and spin and cover it up and lie. And that's what it is. This was a continuing resolution, you guys. They wanted to continue to negotiate for the next 30 days. Demetra comes to me and she says, I'll negotiate with you if you give me $1.2 trillion for the next 30 days to keep the government going. I just want to fund the government so we can keep negotiating. But they hide all of this stuff. That's what I'm saying. The Democrats are like the fox and the wolf. The wolf, you know the wolf's intentions. But the fox is the deadlier one because it looks at it like it's smiling at you and it's your friend and all that other stuff. I am so tired of the Democrats with the woke language and they're not homeless, they're unhoused. Do you see what I'm saying? How they're trying to wrap it up and to make it something else? Say what it is. But this is how they operate, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Just say what it is. If you want to give the illegal migrants, healthcare insurance, which doesn't make sense because Americans ain't got it, then say that.
And I just want to put this out there. That's not necessarily true either. That is, and listen, I'm nonpartisan. I don't give a damn about the Republicans or the Democrats. But for what I've saw and I've read and I've listened to a lot, the Democrats are not trying to give illegal immigrants health care, as they cannot do that because you have to be legal. Again, that's up for the states to do that. Now, I know that in the past, like, because I see people playing this debate. I can't remember where it's from, maybe 2019 or something like that. They were asked, would you give illegal immigrants health care? Some, a lot of them raised their hands. But as far as it being in this bill, it doesn't seem like that's the case. Although it's a talking point. Let me finish. It's a talking point of the Republicans, and they haven't really backed that up. You'll see them on the news saying and Mike Johnson all in, but they haven't really backed that up. So are they trying to give them the illegal immigrants health care? It doesn't seem like that has panned out. I'm just telling you what I saw.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say this, and it doesn't take, well, I'm using my basic logic. $1.2 trillion in healthcare expenses, it covers Americans and other people. Because that is way too much money. $1.2 trillion in healthcare, that covers, because most Americans have insurance or the ACA or fall under the ACA because they want healthcare coverage and they want the subsidies to continue. Those are two different issues that the Democrats have asked. It doesn't take a genius to understand that they want this additional money to go to the states because the states have, these sanctuary cities and these sanctuary states have busted their budgets in regards to, they haven't said it outright, we're going to give it to the immigrants, but that's what it is, in my opinion.
Said that though. Have you seen any?
No, they're not saying that. But again, it doesn't take a genius to see why the budgets are busted.
I guess what I'm saying, yeah, I get all that, but I guess what I'm saying is I'm not one to just keep repeating rhetoric that I hear that's not been backed up. There's been a lot of people who have said that that's not true. A lot of experts have said that is not true. That they want to, they're shutting down, because this is the rhetoric. They're shutting down the government. They being the Democrats, which they're not shutting it down by themselves. Because listen, like I said, I'm not partisan, but I want to make sure we get to the truth as possible. They're not shutting down the government so that they can get illegal immigrants health care. That's what's being said. But the other side of it, they don't talk about the money that the Republicans want to cut and do this, that, and the other, and the $20 billion that they send into Argentina. So on the other hand, they're telling you that all the Democrats want to shut the government down to take care of illegal immigrants, but they ain't said nothing about the $20 billion that they gave to Argentina. So it's like, let's tell both sides of the story. And the truth is, the Republicans, and let's keep it a buck, a lot of them are up to shenanigans, and they're trying to pass the buck. But as Trump said himself, if a shutdown happens under a president's watch, that is the president to own. But all of a sudden, we got amnesia. Let's tell the truth. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Well, the thing is this, regardless of what you believe and what you don't believe, a government shutdown to continue the resolution for these people not doing their jobs, doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican, it doesn't matter. The government should not be shutting down for these people to do their basic jobs. So what you got to do is get them out of office. Get them out of office. In some states, if they don't pass a budget in their state, they don't get paid. See, this is the hypocrisy of it all. I don't care why the government shuts down. The fact of the matter is, it has shut down because these people are incompetent in their jobs and they're playing games with the American people. At the end of the day, we have to foot the bill. We have to pay the interest on all of this BS that isn't getting done right now and all this other stuff like that. And that's, to me, what people need to focus on, not who's responsible for it. The government is shut down. Both of these parties are playing games. They're both responsible. They need to go find something else to do.
Exactly. Right. So again, all that, it's their fault. It's their fault. Y'all running the government. People put y'all in there to run the government, and no party is doing it right. There's people losing their jobs, not getting paid, and a whole host of other stuff, and they all lying. David X, how you doing? Says, I voted for Trump and not ashamed of it. If you want the illegals out, this is part of it. Many illegals look like FBAs also. It is what it is. The price one must pay to begin a better tomorrow. I can dig it. I think a lot of people voted for that reason. So I agree with you.
David X, you heard about that superintendent up in Iowa. $300,000 job. He was a superintendent of schools in Iowa, has major violations in the law. And he looks like us. He's from Guyana and stuff like that. So it isn't just, the Latin looking people, whatever. It's all of these people that have come here, the Haitians, the Dominicans, even though they're not black, but now they're black because ICE is on their butts. But it is what it is. So I agree with you.
Yeah. And I see some of y'all comments. I'm just, I don't know who you talking about. J Mall said JJ. Eunice says, we have to go. We have gone to certain point in history and in Bible prophecy, the things are completely open and revealed. They are two wings, rather, the same bird. Democrat Party, they're becoming more overt. Okay, let's see. And Miss Wee says, true. The state definitely are the ones helping the illegals. Yeah, so it's the states that choose what they want to do, right? Buckhorse says, Mama T, hey woman. So he's speaking to Mama T. Tyrone says, state healthcare is subsidized by the government. That is true. That is absolutely true. Arlene says, that's why California is so in the red, because of Democrats were funding the immigrants. That is true, and true for New York, Chicago, Illinois, and a couple other places as well. So absolutely. GM South, he says, if you say the lie long enough, then it becomes true. Come on now. And that's what they've been doing over and over and over and over again, kept repeating the line. They know most people got the brain cell of a cricket. So they'll continue to believe it, which is why, I don't watch a lot of TV because there's a lot of propaganda on there. And they know that a lot of people won't crack open a book or even go Google it or see if any of it is true at all. They just, the Democrats or the Republicans. And it's like, just say you don't think for yourself and you want to belong to a team no matter what they're saying, right? Dennis, she says, if you haven't figured out by now that the Democrats have betrayed descendants of chattel slavery, then he says by now you are probably disconnected from reality. Totally, right? Let's see, who else haven't I seen? Brooklyn Best, how you doing? Long time no see. Says they're not going to say that. Black America says, right, show the proof. No, and one who cares says absolutely. Norma says, thank you, sis. All that money they want to give to other countries. Yeah, they're not talking about that at all. How you give $20 billion to another country, not to mention all the other countries you're giving money to, but you crying about, what American citizens should and should not have, and this, that, and the other. I think they both bogus. But at the end of the day, You know, that's the Republicans giving all that. They're wanting to give all that money to for what? You got people here sleeping on the streets, don't know what they're going to eat, and none of that stuff. But you got people who are invested. Oh, I'm team this, I'm team that. You finna be team stupid and hungry because neither one of those parties care about nobody. They care about the oligarchy. They care about that money staying at the top, right? So again, it behooves us as citizens and voters or whatever else you call yourself to find out for yourself. That's how they're able to continue to pull the wool over our eyes, because we like parakeets. We just, well, they said this, well, they said that. And well, how do you know? How do you know? You just going off of what they told you. They ain't backing it up. You're not asking them to back it up. You just believe in what they say because they keep saying it over and over and over again. If they a parakeet and you taking the word of a parakeet and you repeating it, what does that make you? I'm just asking. Bill, how you doing? Says state is giving them health care. The Fed's just saying nothing. Yeah, it's the states. The states are doing that. Whether they trying to filter the money down, I don't know. It remains to be seen. But nobody's said here is the proof of them doing that. They just keep on yang, and everybody's just eating it all up.
And by the way, October 1st, even though the big, beautiful bill, parts of it is taking in effect, that is when the cuts to HUD actually happen. So 51% of the HUD budget is gone, complete gone. The states have to come up with the difference. So the HUD does the Section 8 and some of the welfare. So now the states have to come up with that money. A lot of the states, because they've been funding illegal migrants, budgets are busted. Los Angeles by itself, Chicago by itself as a city, is operating at $1 billion deficit right now as we speak. Now, think about the people who depended on the federal funding to go down to help house some of those citizens, right? Where are they going to get the money? See, people's lives are at stake, and these public servants are playing games. And you know what's going to happen, Demetra? We're going to vote them right back into office to continue the games.
Yeah, and Cynthia says, come on, Demetra. Low key, the Democrats are trying to go give broke sanctuary city state additional funding, money that do provide health care for illegal immigrants. I'm not saying they're not trying to do that. I'm saying, where does it say they're doing that? I'm not saying they're not trying to do that. I mean, they've been doing that. But where does it say that the Democrats, and I'm not a Democrat, I ain't been one for a while, so I ain't got a lot to kick it. I'm saying, where does it say that the Democrats shut down the government because they wanted to fund illegal immigrants? Where does it say that? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, right? But at the end of the day, you got both parties going back and forth. You got people who are not getting a check. Did y'all, thank God you ain't have to travel. Did you see TSA at the airports? How it was horrible. If I was there, I'd be like, listen, I'm not going to endure all of this waiting and this, that, and the other. So you got people who are going to work or not going to work, not getting paid because they want to blame each other. But I'm taking Trump at his word. Since y'all like to take Trump at his word, said when a shutdown happens under that president, it's for that president to own. So, seems like to me, whatever it is that's going on, they should be able to acquiesce or, try to come in the middle so that the people could work. But none of this is about the people. This is about them. That's all it is in their special interest. So I'm not saying that's not what's happening. I'm saying, where does it say it's happening? See, we got to get to the point where we say, here is where it says it's happening, instead of listening. I see somebody say Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson been getting his can kicked all over TV for lying. Because I've seen a lot of people call him out and read certain things. Oh, well, no, that's not true. Wait. He want to see that their tactic now is, listen, I know a little bit about debate. Their tactic is like your Roland Martins, want to argue and scream and this, that, and the other. It's like, I'm trying to ask you a question and so you can give the American people an answer. You ain't trying to do that. So I've seen those Mike Johnson interviews, and sound like Mike Johnson got some other stuff he need to be worried about, because I ain't gonna repeat gossip, but yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, and real quick, I want to add to this real quick. You guys got to really think about it. Why are the Democrats 10 toes down on bringing these immigrants in? Number one, I do believe it's to replace us, but it's about, I think, and I called this out a long time ago, it's about the census, because the census does not go by your citizenship. It goes by person. The more people you have in your area, the more federal funding you get, and the more representation you get. So by flooding the country in with these illegals, to count in the census that's coming up in a couple of years would give the Democrats more power. That's my theory on the situation.
Yeah, easy. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far into the weeds as to why they want to give $20 billion to Argentina, but I'm sure it's something to get for them to gain somehow. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'm sure there's a reason why they're doing it. But yeah, there's, $20 billion show could help American people who are struggling right now. I go to the grocery store. Every time I go to the grocery store, it's through the roof. And I don't even have a basket full of stuff. So.
Right. And you guys got to think about this. Let's just use our poorly educated American system that we were all taught under. When you have less of a demand, right, as if you got a lot of people here, there's a bigger demand for supply. So we're talking about groceries and food. So the prices go up because you got all of these people trying to buy scarce resources. So the prices go up. You get those people up out of here, there's less of a demand. So there's less people buying that product. So then to move that product, the price has to go down. We got to use our basic economic and common sense.
Lene, how you doing? Says my baby boomer parents are constantly complaining about Trump, but will not call out the Democrats that voted for Trump as a protest, deportation, and the economy. There you go. Everybody has their reasons, right?
Real quick, Dimitri. Wait, real quick. I'm going to read this. I want you to answer it. Enoch, the elect, he says, immigrants don't participate in the census enough to make a difference. You work for the census. Could you explain how the census works?
They do. They do participate in the census. At least they did when they was doing. I don't even know if they even doing that anymore now. And I'm not sure if Trump got rid of it, but yeah.
No, they still have to count per person. Yeah, they still have to do that.
I know there was something they got rid of. I don't know what it was. Something to do with the labor. I don't know what it is. But
the census counts per person.
Can I finish? Yeah, they have to be counted, and they can be counted, whether they're illegal or not. So they are. A lot of times, the hardest part was to get them to respond because a lot of times they were afraid because they weren't legal or whatever the case is, and that wasn't something that you could even ask them. But a lot of times they weren't. But yeah, they are counted. Believe that, because depending on what state it is, yeah, they get resources to help illegal immigrants because they might be a sanctuary city or whatever it is. So they're counting on being able to count those heads so they can get a different maybe seat in Congress or whatever it is, right? More funding. So yeah, they're counted.
Yeah, it's about representation. It doesn't matter what your citizen status is. In a certain area, if there's 50,000 people there, 50,000 people deserve to be represented. And in that 50,000, they might cut it up into two congressional seats. So you went from one congressional seat, now it's two. So it's about money, federal dollars and resources, and congressional seats. That's what the census's main purpose is for.
Right. Albie Chill says so many elders have warned us for decades about the Democrats, yet we didn't want to believe it, and we still don't want to believe it. When I say we, I mean collectively. We still don't want to believe it, right? Mr. G 1804, how you doing? What? Okay, well, thank you for the donation. Okay. I'm just saying, Angela, brain cell of a cricket. Lily, how you doing? Hope that you're well this fine Sunday afternoon or evening, I should say. I'm just going down to acknowledge everybody haven't seen. May, how you doing? Says, honestly, we need to make plans amongst ourselves for ourselves as government has never been for us, especially now that we are no longer the majority minority. Come on now. You better say that last part out loud, right? But again, we've been told that forever, and somehow we just want to keep on arguing, debating over silliness.
Do you know what's crazy, Demetra? Now, you're from California. I'm from California. And if you've been to California under Democratic regime, Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris is from here. We have homeless. Oakland, a whole city has been destroyed by crime. San Francisco is basically destroyed. I mean, all the stuff that's going on in California. I want you guys that aren't from California that know of what I'm talking about and the chaos that's going on in California. Imagine a president who is from California right now today, a Gavin Newsom or a Kamala Harris, who comes from a state that she didn't even bother to improve. Just think what the country would look like under those type of auspices, what her policies would be. If California under Democratic policy looks the way it does right now, with all the homeless and it's bad out here. Just think what the country would look like.
Yeah, and I would say this, I'm not, sometimes I think I'm Nostradamus, Nostradamitra. But I think with the foolishness that Trump and them got going on, a lot of that stuff, I think the Democrats are going to be back. I think they're going to get a lot of seats because we're already seeing it in different elections throughout the country that Democrats are overwhelmingly winning seats back, right? So again, that's kind of what happens. And I know I just try to be a realist as much as possible. That's what happens when you too far to the left and too far to the right. And Kamala and Biden, them too far to the left. Trump and them too far to the right. They're literally trying to turn the country into a white nationalist, Christian thing. You can't do this, that, the other. Brother Phil covered it where Stephen Miller went to Memphis and he, was talking about cracking down and all that. It's like, who the hell died and made you president, right? So there's a lot going on, but I think people on both sides of the aisle is like, listen, we need to get this thing back in the middle because it ain't been in the middle in a very long time. And when we have somebody who's too far to the left, we get the foolishness like mass immigration, and then you got the stuff too far to the right where they want to, take it all back and make it all white. Now, and you can't say this, you can't do that. They got Charlie Kirk statues all over the place and teaching curriculums in school and churches. And it's just like, wait a minute, nah. Okay. So I think we're going to see a lot of that be halted. I could be wrong, though. And Derek said the Dems are horrible. We're in bad shape because of the Dems. We're in horrible shape because of both of them. Both of them. Again, I sit in the middle. I'm a nonpartisan. We're in horrible shape because of, but I'm take that back. We're in horrible shape because of us, the voter, because we do not know most of the time what the hell we even voting for. We voting because, she's got a nice blowout. Oh, he's very orange. Well, we vote on silliness.
She is the Roro.
Well, whatever it is, we vote for silliness. We don't vote. And then, like Donovan said, we don't show up to the state and local level elections. Those are the lowest turnouts in elections. It's state and local. But I'm going to keep repeating this because I don't think we understand. Your judges, your DAs, your sheriffs, your, all these people, your representatives, your senators, all those people in between, those happen at the state and local level. Your governors, right? But we don't show up to that. So a lot of times those people just win by default because a lot of people didn't show up. And then when your cousin or yourself get picked up, charged overly by a DA that's overzealous, then you go look at their record and be like, damn, they got a 97% conviction rate of Black Americans. What? Oh, I didn't know that. You know why you didn't know? Because when they was on the ballot, you didn't go show up to try to see what they was doing. So now you trying to walk it back. So that's where it counts. But that's on us that we allow them to get in there. That Congress is fully Republican. That's on us. And yes, the Democrats did a lot to where people were like, we were buffing the Democrats. We going all Republican. We flipping a lot of stuff red. And here we are. So a lot of this is on us, land.
Yeah, we're so conditioned to, it's the red problem. It's an us problem. It's an us problem. And once we start realizing that and stop supporting both of these clown parties and start holding them accountable, because that's the whole key. You could complain, but you got Maxine Waters in office for 30 years. You got Mitch McConnell in there for 40 years. Joe Biden, 60 years in government. And we keep blaming everybody. No, we need to blame ourselves. At the end of the day, this is our fault. Stop rewarding bad behavior. That's what we do. Oh, well, he just got back in office. No. If they ain't doing their job, out you go. Out you go. Simple as that.
Yeah. HGLC, how you doing? It says Tim Black is running a video with Kamala saying she's all in on universal health care for illegal. So that sounds like party lines. Let me tell you something. Kamala Harris is not in office right now. Kamala Harris is not in office. She has nothing to do with the bill that's funding the government right now. Kamala Harris is on her funky book tour. So as much as we take Kamala to task, we're not going to lie. And I'm not saying that you are, but we're not going to blame Kamala for that. She has nothing to do with it. She's not in office nowhere. So this has nothing to do with her. Did she say those things? Yes, a lot of them did say they would like to do that, but are they talking about doing it now? That is the question.
Real quick, Tamara G says, Joe, exactly. That dude is steady wasting money on BS, golf, burning food, crazy military meetings. See, Tamara, this is our problem. This is what we're just now talking about. You're acting like the Democrats don't do that. How many times did Obama go golfing? How many times? Well, we don't know what Joe did because they put him in the corner. But the point is, they all do it. When are we going to start upgrading our laws to make sense today? Do you guys realize some of the laws that are on the books go back to the late 1890s? They haven't upgraded them. But the thing is, see, that's the thing. We keep, he's wasting money on golf, whatever. They all do it. Both parties. Guess who was on the golf course with them? Some Democrats. They're all there. The corporationists, the oligarchs. They all do it. So we just can't be pointing fingers all the time. When are we, the bosses, going to put our foots down and start firing people?
Right. That is a question. Gwendolyn, I hope you can hear us. I know that everybody else seems that they can, maybe. Or if you don't hear me, you don't hear what I'm saying now. But how you doing? Free Will says Venezuelan natural resources. You know, the ecosystem is being depleted from the United States and the Silicon Valley efforts. Yeah. Think we so entitled to the world, shaking my damn head at foolishness. Yep. You said a word right there. Tahada says San Francisco is Gotham now. You ain't lying. Buckhorse says, I'm cooking now mac and cheese, fried chicken, green beans, and cornbread. Save me a plate. Lynn, how you doing? Says, I know damn well that y'all are speaking the truth. All right, now Tito, how you doing? Says, never been to Cali. Cali is a really nice place to be right now. It's kind of got a lot of things going on, but Hampton, how you doing? Says, wow, this guy really knows how to cosplay. That one guy from Django. What guy you talking about? Tamara, how you doing? Says, this is why the numbers are up, because you can't check. You can check white on the census. You can. You're right. I'm telling you. Dwayne says the country would be a war zone. Okay. Miss Sweet says California, in my opinion, needs to be divided in at least 3 separate states. Yeah, California, the biggest state, right? California is huge. Queen Adia says LA is going downhill too. Yep. It's going to be a big, giant correction. I was just having a conversation with my daughter about that earlier. Loretta said, you support ICE? Okay. Gotcha. Let's see. Just going down. Who else haven't I seen? Hampton says, Massa, please. That crazy woman wants me to build my community. Please take me back. I don't know what that means. I'm just reading that. I'm sure it was something we said, maybe. Okay, so dang, you got all the way down there. African Diaspora, how you doing? Says, what's the solution to the Democrats' attempt to replace FBAs with these immigrants? Well, a lot of people said Trump was the solution in a mass deportation with Tom Homan and Kristi Noem and all of them. And it's working. So, but now, are you going to show up to get those jobs? If indeed you need one, if those jobs are there to get.
Yeah. If you're in a border state like I am in California, there are so many help wanted signs that are going up because the illegal immigrants are afraid to go to work. That's why Karen Bass wants to give them free money because, they're afraid to go to work. Just like most Americans, we're afraid to go to work too, but we got to go. But the jobs are there. This is a plus of Donald Trump. I'm not saying he's the greatest person, but you can't tell me everything this man is doing is wrong. Illegal immigration is illegal immigration. Demetria, what the hell is wrong with you or anybody else wanting legal immigration? Because they want to turn that around and make it seem like you're a racist because you're for legal immigration.
No, I mean, you can't go to anybody else's country and just say, I'm here, take care of me. I want 6 months free rent. I want some food and I won't pay for it, right? And I'm sick and I need some health care for free. I mean, like I said, I went to Mexico once, I forget, Cancun or one of those. Anyway, my daughter got hurt and I had to come out the pocket to pay. Her leg got ran into by a jet ski. There's blood everywhere, right? And I had to pay the doctor to come in and treat her. There was no free health care there. So I'm just keeping it real, Miss Shantae. He says, anywhere where it's water, there's problem. They need the water for AI, supercomputer. We need to take our land back. Yeah, and they putting those supercomputers in black neighborhoods. That's Trump and Elon and them putting those supercomputers in black neighborhoods and in Memphis where there's a black mayor, and he's allowing them to do it. Matter of fact, they don't just have one. They got another one coming. So we're doomed. Humans are screwed even more so with these supercomputers, and because we're lazy you know, especially a lot of people on Twitter or X, Grok, what does this mean? So every time you do that or you use AI, you're depleting the earth and the resources from what humans need. And it's not good. And, you know, but you can't say nothing to people because, oh, AI is the future. AI is the way. And I get it. You use it for what it's for, but we use it to the point of where we're like, what do I do? Why is water wet? You know, just so, yeah. We're doing this to ourselves, and it's sad. Weed Smoker 420, how you doing? Says people vote Democrat to keep their government assistance. I don't even think those people vote like that, to be honest with you. Cynthia, thank you so much. Love and appreciate you for that. Says Dimitri Donovan, FBA family, please keep Chicago Blackivists in prayer, especially Miss Stewart, who is getting death threats. Oh, yeah, that's crazy right there. But yeah, absolutely. You know, y'all, Chicago, Black residents, like I said, I salute y'all. My hat is off to y'all because y'all doing the heavy lifting and you're raising the alarm at what they did to y'all. You know, and Brandon Johnson and JB Prisker acting like it's not a big deal, but it is. They didn't move the immigrants in their neighborhoods. They did that to y'all. So, like I said, my hat is off to y'all. Those of y'all who live in Chicago, I think Cynthia, you live in Detroit, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah.
But you want to know what's crazy? California was the test bed. Gentrification happens, it takes about 30 years to complete. Boys in the Hood, Furious, and the movie basically explain what gentrification is. Boys in the Hood came out in 1989. Now, knowing what was happening in Los Angeles, it's amazing how the other cities that have a lot of Black people were not paying attention. California is gone. For those of you guys that don't live in California, there are no Black neighborhoods in California. Compton is mostly Hispanic now. South Central Los Angeles, mostly everybody else. There's a super stadium. SoFi Stadium is in the heart of what was a Black neighborhood. The population of Black people in California is less than 5%, and it's getting worse because we cannot afford to live here. And this is the playbook, and they're using it up in New York, in Harlem. They're using it in Philly. They're using it in Chicago. So now we have this information. We've got to get these people who are approving these deals and these backyard deals with these developers out. And how do you do that? You show up to city council. You show up and you disrupt. And how you disrupt is by your vote and your voice at city council.
Absolutely. Uncle G, how you doing? He says, and don't forget jury duty. We need more of us on those juries. Yeah, I showed up to jury duty on Tuesday. They didn't need me. They never need me. It was a civil trial, actually. I guess they settled. But yeah, I totally agree. You show up to those jury duties because it's mostly people who look like us. We're not being judged by a jury of our peers. We're being judged by them folks who already perceive us to be guilty. So yes, it sucks to show up and, you know, wait, and whatever, and the little however much it is they give you. I didn't get anything. But it sucks. But it could be you. It could be somebody that you know and love that's sitting on a jury and they're sitting in front of people who do not look like them. So I totally agree with you. Rhonda.
And guess what? OJ got off.
Well, he had a jury of his peers. And a lot of them people, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even to the point of Johnny Cochran's like, yeah, they're going to take a tour of his house. Let's change some of these pictures because homeboy up in here raccooning. So let's put some Black stuff on these walls, right? Rhonda, how you doing? Says, went to vote in a special election, was not able to vote. My district was changed from District 7 to 6. Told I will vote 3 times in 2026. Gerrymandering. Yeah, that's crazy. And a lot of that is meant to confuse people. So they'll eventually say, it's okay, I'm not going to go. I tried to go once and now I'm good.
Yeah, and speaking of gerrymandering, in a lot of states, the gerrymandering is up to the politicians. So the assembly and those people like that. Here in California, a long time ago, the power to gerrymander the districts was taken out of the politicians' hands. Governor Gavin Newsom just put in Proposition 50, which he's saying, it's Donald Trump is trying to rig. What does California have to do with the nation in regards to congressional seats? Nothing. California only deals with California. But see, this is the Democrats, once again, lying and hiding the truth. To redo districts in California, we already have a civilian board. But see, Gavin Newsom wants to take that power away from the civilian board here in California and put it back into the politicians' hands. You got to read the information that they put out there. Am I saying all politicians are liars? If they're moving their lips, yes, they are.
Rennie, how you doing? He says the Democrats and Republicans are disagreeing on the budget. The Democrats want Medicare for Medi-Cal. I think it's Medicare for all Medi-Cal is California. For all people, which includes undocumented residents. I think he meant residents. The reps want Republicans, U.S. citizens, and that's again that has not been proven. It's something they're saying that the Democrats are shutting down the government because of that, but they're all shutting down the government because they won't agree. So I have to say the Democrats, and again, I'm not a Democrat at all. I'm a truthocrat. I like to tell the truth as much as I can. If I lie to you, it ain't on purpose. Forgive me, please. Then it says neither party is protecting or supporting the Black community. Separate and keep the politicians out of your churches. Nah, they got rid of that. Ain't no such thing as separation of church and state anymore. Your pastor can be up in there telling you who to vote for now and not face any consequences.
Right. And guess what? That happened under the first Trump administration. Did the Democrats reverse that and put it back the way it's supposed to be? Of course they didn't. A lot of stuff that Donald Trump has put in place that affects our community, in a negative way, when the Democrats get in power, I can almost guarantee you they are not going to do anything to reverse what is negative toward our community because they never have.
Right. Yeah, Miss Sweet said she got it was just something sticking out on it and it kind of punctured her leg. Now, mind you, we're in the middle of the ocean, so of course everybody's freaking out because of sharks and all this other stuff. And yeah, it was a lot. I had to pay for that. Was no free healthcare over there.
Yeah, and by the way, for you guys that think these countries that have free healthcare, you go over, let's say Germany, universal healthcare. Yeah, they're not going to let you die. They're going to treat you. But do you guys realize they're going to send a bill to the Secretary of State to be reimbursed for all of that? So you can go to Canada all you want to get your teeth done, whatever the situation might be, or whatever notice nobody goes up there. Nobody goes to Mexico, wherever they're going. The government will be billed and then the government's going to bill you for universal health care in another country. That's why universal health care shouldn't even be a debate in this country. Everybody should have it by now. Right? We should have it, but it's still a debate. And they keep it a debate because it is a political talking point to get elected. They don't want to solve the healthcare issue. They want to keep it debatable.
Right. But yet everybody else has healthcare in different countries. They got healthcare, free education and stuff, but we around here, shucking and surviving. Yes, Arlene, I actually did a story about that. I think it's on African Diaspora News Channel last week or the week before. Yeah, she got caught not wanting to give Black students, let them, I guess some services there should be for Spanish speaking only. And then of course she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And all that they wanted her to resign. But to this moment, I don't think that she has, but yes. Tahada, you need me? Okay. I'm just skipping down in purgatory till the Most High come. How you doing? One love to you. And Amos, how you doing? Says, have FBA forgotten when the Democrats was in office? A lot of illegal immigrants and Black immigrants dropped off in FBA communities. Illegal immigrants gang moved into them apartments. Yeah, so that is what I have heard as well. That their Trendeagra, and I talked about that last week. That they were up in there, but again, like you said, they moved them into the Black neighborhoods, and in a lot of, I think in Denver or something, they was taking over apartment complexes and doing the most, right? So yeah, they gotta go. Just skipping down the
Hada 420 says, "I need you, Demetra." Oh my God.
I need you too, boo. I gotta take this trash out in the morning. Computer Blue says Gavin Newsom is Jim Crow, Joe Biden 2.0. They all Jim Crow, all of them are Jim Crow, every last one of them. I don't know, Jim Crow. Gavin Newsom may run and give the Republicans a run for their money. He's actually winning over a lot of people. I think he's winning over a lot of people. I'm not saying he's F him to what he did to Black people in California with reparations. But I think a lot of people are like, at least he's not taking it laying down. Everybody else is just letting Trump and Stephen Miller and all them steamroll him. But Gavin Newsom was like, nah, oh my God. He changed his profile picture of an AI picture of Trump dressed up as the Queen. But I tell you, they said we changed our profile in honor of our queen. It was like Elizabethan or whatever. He said queen. He had the curly hair and stuff. And he says, our queen says, I'm paraphrasing, too bad you peons. I want a new ballroom, because he's continuing building the ballroom at the White House. But he's like, people are not working, but he's going on with the ballroom. So, oh my God, I tell you, whoever's running Gavin Newsom's account, they troll game is on 10. And just for, kicks and giggles, I'm like, it would be funny if Time made Gavin Newsom's social media person, Time Person of the Year, because I'm telling he owned all a bumpers. But that queen picture was hilarious. Comedy.
Right. But see, here's the thing, though. But do you see? They do these things where they identify with us and they're like, look, I'm a common guy, I'm fighting whatever. It's all symbolism, because when they get in office, what do? I'm tired of the symbolism. I'm very sure you guys are too. That's all good and great. I'm claiming my time. Remember that? What was Kamala Harris's claim to fame? Oh, she grilled Jeff Sessions in a Senate confirmation hearing. Great. Then she gets in office. Then wait. Even before that, what did Kamala do when she's on the stage? She basically told Joe Biden he's a racist into his face, and she was that girl. Then she joins him. It's all symbolism and performative. And all I'm telling you guys is these people come from somewhere. That's why you have to participate in your local governments and know what the hell is going on. Ooh, how are you going to vote for somebody because they had a great soundbite? And some people vote like that. That's the scary part.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's the state of the politics that we're in, and I don't agree with any of it. But yeah, Trump and them, they got all kind of foolishness going on official White House account, memes and videos of that. Now they got this thing where they slapping sombreros and it is racist. Let's keep it a buck, and mustaches on people. I guess, I don't know, maybe saying that they're caping for the illegal immigrants, which all illegal immigrants aren't Mexican, right? So they're putting all this stuff. So they got a lot of foolishness going on. And I think from an optical point of view, yeah, that's how it's always been in politics. I mean, you go back to the Nixon debate with JFK. A lot of people say that JFK, because before people weren't feeling JFK, because before that, the debates were over the radio. But then when it was televised, they was like, oh, my heart be still. Who is this handsome young man? But Nixon showed up. He didn't want them to put no makeup on him. He had that 5 o'clock shadow. He was sweating. He was looking crazy. And so when he debated JFK, it was like, oh, yeah, he's a mess. Oh, my God. So what I'm saying is, but when it was on radio, most people probably would have said Nixon is our guy. We like him better per se. But I'm saying all that to say, yes, optics matter, and that is why the person with the biggest yard sign or the biggest political sign, that's why they usually win, because, oh, I know that name because it's a big giant billboard all over the freeway. I'm gonna vote for them, and they could be the KKK for all they know, but they see that. So I get why people are liking what Gavin Newsom is doing, because in a sense it's giving a sense that I'm not afraid of you, jerk, and I'm fighting you back. I'm gonna fight fire with fire. You don't like how I'm these memes and stuff. I'm totally mirroring everything that you're doing. You're supposed to be having you're the commander-in-chief with the highest position in the land, and you doing crap like this, cosplaying Star Wars and all kind of foolishness, and you almost 80. Come on.
Yeah, and again, I want you guys to understand, Gavin Newsom just bought a $9 million mansion up here in California. But do you see how they work with the grassroots? There's an episode of The Twilight Zone. It's called, was it He Lives or whatever the deal? They had Dennis Hopper, and he's like trying to be a Hitler, and he's trying to explain to him, how do you get the crowd behind you? You join the crowd. You could be a rich billionaire. Remember when Bush Jr. W. People were like, oh, I could have a beer with W. Bush. Yeah. Right? But I can have a beer with him. He would not have a beer with you. The guy's born into wealth. Michael Dukakis, this man had a 17-point political lead against Daddy Bush. and he lost. And why did he lose that election, Demetra? What trick did Bush use against him?
He let Walter
Willie Horton.
Willie Horton, yeah, it was
the Willie Horton thing.
Career criminal, yeah.
Brought it out, and the guy lost 17 points. So we really gotta check these people's paperwork. I mean, Jasmine Crockett, where did this person come from? Who does she represent? Do you represent the party or do you represent the people? Everybody in Congress represents their party first. They don't represent the people. And if that's the case, you get them out of office. You don't keep re-electing them. And they're trying to do it right now, Demetra. They are trying to take people's power to vote away from them. Right now, it's one person, one vote. That's why they're always harping on voter ID and all this other stuff. They want people to have a voter ID to be able to vote. If they take away that, we're going to be done. But right now, we still have that power to fight big money. As long as we got that power to vote, we can fight big money. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If we all are in agreement that this person has to go, they got to go.
Yeah, King Shaw says, will, I think he meant Will Newsom be president in 2028?
No, absolutely not.
I think he has a good chance. I'm just telling you, I don't think he'll be a good president. I think that he has a good chance because I really think people have fatigue, and it's not even been a year with the Trump administration. So I think he has a good chance. I don't know if he will be. If he even runs, right? It seems like, and I saw Cynthia, I think it was you said about the trans stuff and the bathroom stuff. Sounds like he's kind of backed off of that. In the last couple of months or so, he's backed up off of it. So to me, when he's doing stuff like that, it signals that he may be interested in running for president.
I'll tell you why he's not going to win. You guys want to know, even if he ran for president, why he's not going to win? Because of what he pulled in the California reparations. It takes Black people to put somebody in the White House. Who put Joe Biden in the White House? It was Black people. When they start harboring on what he did in the reparations bill, he's not going to the White House. He's not. It's not going to happen.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, and I think this is how you know closer to the truth. Gavin actually didn't pull anything with the reparations. It was actually the California Legislative Black Caucus who did that. So you could tell if Gavin Newsom will be closer to being to the White House if those California Legislative Black Caucus Assembly members get reelected, and that's next year. They are for reelection in 2026. If any of those, if most of them get reelected, there's your answer. We know one thing about Black people here in America is we have amnesia. If it feels good, it looks good, it sounds good, then we all in. And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of Black people. I know there's some that like Trump or whatever and all that, but there's a lot of Black people who are scared, ishless, and they will vote for Gavin Newsom in a heartbeat. These are not my feelings. I'm just saying from what I can see. But you'll know next year how the election swings, whether he'll be closer to that White House or not.
I agree, but I don't. Like I said, that's going to be his noose around his neck if that reparation thing. Because remember, he called the Black Caucus and had a closed meeting, and then that's when they came out and they were like, "Oh, we got to change our thing. We're not going to bring it to the floor," because they were going to bring it to the floor, and they had a meeting with him just before the votes were happening. So I don't know, what was behind the scenes, but the perception of what it was. Because think about it. If he would have signed that reparations bill in California, he would have had the Latinos upset and he would have had the Asians upset, much less the white people. To give Black people in California reparations, he didn't want that bill to come on his desk. That's why he called them into his office. So that's going to be his Achilles heel if he gets nominated.
You also got to remember, it's not that many Black people in California, for one, right? Now, they didn't hand it to Kamala. Kamala didn't get it for a whole host of reasons. But like I said, it remains to be seen what they do next year as far as the midterms. If those Isaac Bryans and Corey Jacksons and all of them get back in, well,
those guys are going to get back in because they don't work for Black people. They work for the Hispanics and the Asians that keep voting them in. Maxine Waters in the last election I think it was 63%, maybe 70 something. It was really low 70s of people that voted for her were Hispanic. Maxine Waters, the majority of people that voted for her were Hispanic, and she's going to stay in that seat as long as she keeps doing the Hispanic agenda. Simple.
Yeah. So like I said, I don't know. It remains to be seen. I know a lot of people do like Gavin Newsom, though. A lot of people like him. It remains to be seen, honestly. Raven, how you doing? Says California demographic change, fewer blacks, so they probably won't win. I know they'll win because they are doing everything for the Hispanics and everybody else. Black people, they don't even talk about black people anymore in California. Bernie's book tour. How you doing? Says I voted for Winsome Sears and Republicans down ballot here in Virginia. Why did you vote for Winsome, if you don't mind?
Yeah, Winsome was that was a what do you call those people? She wasn't FBA. Yeah, well, she wasn't FBA. She wasn't FBA at all. She wasn't for reparations. She wasn't for none of that.
Yeah, but to each his own, right? At least you voted, I guess. King Charlie says if Newsom wins, he's going to open every border. It is. He might, but like I said, that's what happens when you're doing too much on either party, which is why all the Republicans are in now, because the Democrats are doing too much. Now the Republicans are doing too much. So we honestly just going to be like a pendulum going back and forth, if you ask me, because I can't think of too many people that want to continue on with the foolishness and stuff they're doing with the kids. I mean, the college campuses, they got to pledge allegiance to Israel and all. Listen. Okay, I pay tuition, and I don't want to pay for to be doing all of that, right? And it's just a lot. It is, and now it's whatever. They're talking about putting Trump on a dollar piece to commemorate the 250th birthday of America next year. Now, the president got to be dead 2 years to be on a dollar piece, but it's like. It's just a lot. So we talk about symbolism in politics, but the Trump administration is about symbolism. It's a lot of symbols. Now if you want your prescription, you can go get it through Trump RX. He got his own prescription. We can go buy you some medicine now from Trump. I'm just saying, let's call it all what it is.
But again, the back and forth and the tennis thing. My team, Demetria, your team, Demetria, Donovan's team, blah, blah, blah. What's getting done for the American people? Nothing. Because we are distracted by the games and the BS. Nothing is getting done, but they're getting paid. They're getting paid.
Yeah. King D1, how you doing? Says the governor, J.B. Pritzker, Democrat nominee for president. I see that coming from a mile away. Yes, a lot of people are saying that he's jumping in because he's losing a lot of weight. He's running. He's getting in shape. So a lot of people are saying that he's trying to be presentable to run. So yes, he's one of those that will probably get in as well. So it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, the last president that weighed in over 300 pounds was William Howard Taft, who went on to become a Supreme Court justice. Mm-hmm. And since we are in the age of optics, the chances of a grossly calorically challenged person becoming president is that the calorically challenged person becoming president. It's not saying it's not possible, but it would be a challenge against them because people think a president should look a certain way or whatever. So.
And I'm gonna throw a flag on the field. Trump is probably one of the fattest presidents that we've had. Let's not lie to kick it, okay?
Yeah, but the difference is Trump has been public for 40 something years. It's kind of like when you see your parents, no matter how much gray they get in their head, you're always going to remember them when they were younger.
And he's fat.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It was totally hypocritical to have a general meeting and the Secretary of War can barely do a pull-up, and then you got the commander in chief that's fat and overweight. That was just totally ridiculous.
I tried to yell you that you didn't even watch, right? Donovan tried to argue me down. Oh, we watched that last week. I'm like, fool, it didn't happen last week. But yeah, there he is standing up there talking about what y'all need to be doing. It's like neither one of y'all could cut the mustard, and the generals is looking. Trump talking about, oh, y'all can applaud. It's like, that's not what we do, homie. We're not here for kicks and giggles and laughing with you. We ain't even supposed to be partisan. We here to make sure things stay where they're supposed to stay. And if we need to drag your ass out of office if we got to, right? But of course, we know that's part of it. Try to make the generals and the military partisan. They're not supposed to be. But yeah, it was just, to me, the whole thing was comical. It's like, what is a TED Talk? You know, you pulled these people, and a lot of people said this is a great security risk. You got all the top generals in the nation, you know, all at one place. Like, dude, so you can rah and you better. That could have been an email. You could have made a Zoom. I don't know how many people have on. You could have did a whole lot of things, but that was hubris.
Yes. But see, what you guys don't understand, what is scary, and I agree with you on that aspect, that was strategically stupid to put all those people there. But again, the military, the next man up could lead. So it doesn't matter if those guys get wiped up. The next person up could lead. They've been trained to do that. But here's what's scary. If you guys didn't pay attention to what was going on. With all of those generals there, we are, what, a week later, a couple days after the fact? How many of the generals have resigned? That's the scary part. Not many of them have resigned. There's been a few, but there should be a significant amount of these generals should have made a stand for democracy and for the Constitution, and they did not resign. And that's the scary thing, because they said World War II most likely would not have happened if the German high command had stood up to Hitler. But these people are worried about their money, their job, and their position. And this also goes back to generational, with the baby boomers still in charge here in America today. The baby boomers should have been 15, 20 years out of power, and it should be the Generation Xers and the Generation Yers in charge. But that's not the case. So when I saw that meeting, and here it is a few days later, and not one, well, I can't say not one, but the numbers of the generals and leadership that should have resigned in protest hasn't happened, that's scary.
I mean, it's in due time. I think, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I just don't see Trump completing 4 years. I don't know what's going to happen to him. I just don't see it. I think there's going to be this big, okay, that's enough, buddy. That's enough. We're done, right? I really think that is, because you're starting to see people really just turn up and don't care. It's a lot going on, you know, and we haven't seen anything yet. That's just how I feel. Mo, how you doing? Says Millennial here. I want more deportations. I think most people do, right? I think there should be deportations. I also think that's how you do it too, you know. Nobody wants to see people pushed over, you know, getting harmed. None of that kind of stuff, but it does need to happen, you know. And before we leave, I'm watching this series on Netflix called Monster. Ryan Murphy, he's one of my favorite producers and writers and directors. It's called Monster, and it's the Ed Gein edition of Monster. And I will say this, he's really putting a lot of things. If you watch it and you kind of, you know, kind of like look for the Easter eggs and stuff, he's talking about a lot of stuff that's going on now. Y'all should really watch it. It's I mean, if you know anything about Ed Gein, he's a serial killer, and Silence of the Lambs, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Psycho were patterned after Ed Gein. It's a true story. But Ryan Murphy is such a genius in how he writes and how he puts stuff in this, that, man. I'm telling you, I'm just waiting for a lot of backlash to come. And so I will say this, a lot of people I've seen it recently was saying, Ryan Murphy, how come you haven't said anything in, I spoke out about what's going on in Palestine. And I'm like, if you watch this, he actually is. Very interesting. I don't even know why I was telling that story, but I just did. That's what happens when you get old. Monster, yes, on Netflix. And Netflix is going through some things. They've lost about $16 billion because the right-wing, I guess if you will, conservatives are boycotting, and Elon Musk is leading the boycott because they're talking about some trans LGBTQ shows that they're having on there, this, that, and the other. And it sounds like it all kind of stemmed from somebody who works at Netflix that says something about Charlie Kirk, and they went and fired Charlie Kirk. So they've all canceled their memberships and things. I'm like, boy, I tell you. But yes, on Netflix, Monsters, the name of the series, Ed Gein. Sunlight says, Ed, you talking about the guy, Patrick Bateman, the American Psycho, joked about, I don't know who Patrick Bateman is. American Psycho, I'm not quite sure. I know I've heard about American Psycho, but Ed Gein is his name. It happened in the early, in the 40s and 50s. So it could be. But yeah, a lot of things were patterned after him. It's a true life story. But there's a lot of, hidden things in the series that I thought it was pretty brave to do. Because he also did the Dahmer series on Netflix, Monster Dahmer. And a lot of people got mad, and a lot of black people. I'm like, why would black people get mad at Ryan Murphy for doing that story? Because I said, if you really paid attention, because there's like, oh, they keep telling our black trauma, Ryan Murphy is like, I'm telling it again, because it was an indictment on the injustice system there in Milwaukee, because it was the injustice system that allowed Dahmer to keep getting away with doing all the stuff he was doing, because it was black and brown, but mostly black men and boys that he was doing that too. Because he was white, they were black, and they just, the legals, the judges kept slapping him on the wrist. The police, that one time where he had the little boy, and he had did a lot of bad things to him, and he escaped, and the police showed up, and he says, oh, that's my friend, we're just playing, and the police gave the little boy back to him, and he killed him. So Ryan Murphy was actually putting the injustice system on, on this documentary. So it wasn't about traumatizing black people. He was like, hey, this only happened because he was white, and the white injustice system let him do it. So I'm like, if you really watch it, that's what he's saying. He wasn't like, let me retry. You know who re-traumatizes black people is Lena Waithe. If you watch her stuff, she's black, and a lot of stuff that she does is very traumatic, to the point to where people won't even watch it. But I don't know, I'm just kind of a fan of Ryan Murphy because I like how he works. But yeah, he's really speaking truth to power just by letting you watch it. Somebody says, yeah, that's him. He said what he thinks about when he sees a pretty girl, what her head would look like on a stick. That guy, I remember. I don't know, maybe Ed Gein did say that. I don't know. What Mo says, you wake up tomorrow and say you identify as a cat. I didn't even deal with it. Tahada says that was fake outrage from the LGTVs. So you're talking about the right with Netflix. Smith Sweet says, facts me to another SK almost got away. The police took a victim back to him. Yeah, but that's what Ryan was saying. The police, they did this to black people. Yeah, it's an old story, but it needs to be told the right way. Gilbert, how you doing? Says, I'm from Milwaukee, and my mom told me and my siblings about Jeffrey. Yeah, but again, it was a white man. It was a very creepy white man that kept getting away with it because he was white and the victims were black. How do you give a child back to this child is bleeding out of his head? He's naked. And he says, oh, that's just my friend. And they give it back to him. And mind you, that little boy, Jeffrey, snatched up his older brother, and the older brother got away, and somehow he ended up with the younger brother. It was just a lot. But he got away with that because he was white. But guess what? When he got behind bars, he didn't get away with nothing. They was like, oh, we don't know how Jeffrey ended up with that mop handle there. Anyway, I will get out of here because now y'all see I'm sweating and loving. Appreciate every last one of y'all for being here. I will be back here tomorrow. Bernie says, Demetri, your moms have Trump derangement syndrome. Oh Lord, are we there again? Are we? Can we get along? Can we all just get along? Anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. I'll be back here tomorrow with another great topic. Hope that you guys found what we did helpful or entertaining, whatever it was. I hope you got something out of it. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your evening. Peace. Cynthia says, Demetri, the time has come. Please lead the way on promoting our independent third-party candidate. I would love to do that. November, love you too. I would love to do that. We just need a third-party candidate.
Well, the thing is, the third-party candidate, no matter who you get, the other two parties attack it. Why? Because they're the same party. The game does not work if there's a strong third party. Every time a third party rises, the other two parties attack it, which tells you a lot about there is no Democratic or Republican. It's all about the ruling party, the rich party. Because even all the leadership in the Democrats, why are all these people millionaires? Please somebody answer that question for me. Why Gavin Newsom just bought a $9 million house, but he's fighting for the people. But yet we've lost our jobs. We can't find this. We can't get universal health care. But these people are fighting for us as he lives behind his secured gated community.
Well, he's the governor. He's supposed to. Another thing is, y'all got to remember, Gavin Newsom auntie is Nancy Pelosi. Anyway, love y'all. Peace. Vote for Dr. Umar. I ain't seen Dr. Umar around. Is he still with
Yeah.
us?
Wait, we can't say goodbye without saying hello to Sunlight. So Sunlight she's been trolling me on my podcast, keeping me in line. So I can't say what I want to say.
Sunlight. Yeah, she's been trolling you good. Keep it up, sis. Keep up the good work. Anyway, yeah, we'll see y'all tomorrow, 5 p.m. Central Time. Peace.